There we go. I got it.
Good stuff. All right, so this should be everybody. Are you good with the stream, Bree?
Yeah, it's up and running.
All right, awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys all for joining us for the Anna DBU. I'm really excited. We're having it hosted here today by Rebel Rose, Ash Shenanigans, and Save Reality. Before we get started, I just want to mention a few things. Because of the way that custom games work, we're unfortunately going to get kicked out after half an hour. So at some point, I'm going to interrupt us and just pull us back to the lobby so it doesn't kick us all the menu because it's a really annoying feature. Other than that, we've also lowered all of the cooldowns on Anna, so your grenades and like sleep are instant. But please try and restrain yourselves because the instructors need to teach, and if they're just sleeping the whole time, it's not going to work very well. So I promise you can all sleep each other at the end. So contain yourselves a little bit. But
I know we're all old ladies, but we can get our sleep later.
Exactly. All right. Well, I am just going to get us started. We're going to meet on the first point, and I will just let you guys take it away.
Now entering King's Row.
And if it wasn't self-explanatory, please pick Anna.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in. Nanoboost administered.
I'm ready to go.
They're coming.
Oh god!
Nanoboost administered. I cannot be stopped.
Latency.
Enemy in my sights.
Such power.
Hello there.
Excellent. Cool.
I'm in aim. Hello there.
All right, you want to introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Ashley. I moved from PS4 and I'm now on PC. I moved to PC about June of this past year, so I have over like 200 hours on Anna. But on PC it's I think about 33 or something like that. I love her as a healer. I used to play Mercy so much, and then she got nerfed to like death. So then I just started playing my little old granny here because I love following behind Reinhardt's a lot. So
Rose?
I'm Rose. I just literally play every single support in the game, so I pretty much know almost everything there is to know about every support. I've been playing for a little over a year. Most of that time was on Mercy, but when Mercy got nerfed, I started playing Anna more.
Right on. And I am Sabriel, or in-game is Migo right now. I'm also known as Sabriality on DB. I've been playing Ana since, gosh, I think I've been an Ana main since the week after she came out. Something about her kit just really, like, I love this. I've never seen a healer who plays like this. And this is so much fun. And so, yeah, here I am, like, sharing my love of Ana. So, who wants to get us started on what kind of character Ana is and why you should play her?
I think Ana, she's classified as a main healer now, along with like Mercy and Moira. But she is slow moving because of her little granny knees. But her abilities are very powerful for counters and winning team fights, I think.
Yeah. As a support, she is very vulnerable to a lot of the enemy attacks, so she needs to be constantly talking to her team, especially her main tank, just so that way her team knows exactly when she's down, when she needs to have peel, and especially when she's reloading, because she can't heal if she's reloading.
Well, okay, so the question comes up, like, why pick Ana over any other healer? Well, because she's Ana. Is my first instinct is because she's Ana, but no, she is great at burst healing, especially when you have teams consisting of slower moving tanks such as Reinhardt, Zarya, who are always kind of sticking together, D.Va to a sense. She's good at burst healing them because of her AoE healing with her grenade. She is, because of the way that grenade works, she can just top them off really quickly. She is a great range healer because she has the sniper rifle. and she can also just kind of dish a little damage and put enemies to sleep. It's one of the first like real hard CC we got when heroes were starting to be introduced. So why would you pick her over other ones? Like, well, Mercy and Moira are great at strong healing as well. Like individual healing. Moira is kind of more of an AoE healer and damage. Right now, I think in the current form of the game, I think Ana is just kind of a better healer than Mercy in most situations, unless, individually, there's reasons why to pick one or the other, but I think she just does a really good job. I think she's just a very powerful healer right now.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on to her like weaponry.
Yeah, so your main primary fire will be your biotic rifle. It's actually a projectile when you're not scoped in, so it does have travel time. If you want to shoot at a wall, you can see like the impact point. It takes a second to get from your rifle to that wall over there. The damage it does is 70, but your healing to teammates is 75, and the shot will penetrate full health teammates and heal anyone behind them. So if you point at one of your teammates, you can try to heal them. They don't have any damage on them. It'll go right through them into the next target. And if you're off tank who is fully healed and all big and fat in front of you trying to block all your healing, and he's already all healed up, it'll go right next to the other person you're actually trying to aim for. So that's nice. So you can just keep shooting through that person.
Today I learned.
I
had no idea that happened.
No, you can even show here, like one of our red
nice.
Red and red team want to shoot Miko once.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And now, here, someone damage me again. Okay. And then, Rebel, why don't you stand here in the middle? And Trip will be able to shoot me through
Enemy contact.
right there.
Yeah.
Just like that.
That's cool.
They added that just a few months
And
ago.
Miko, if you want to stand in between me and an Ana, I can shoot through you at an enemy, and it'll also damage them.
Ooh.
Hello.
Now heal me.
She's hurt. Help her. Alright, and if you guys want to practice that with each other, or like I can just stand here if you guys want to try to shoot an enemy. I mean, teammate or whatever, I don't know.
Ahoy, mate.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is that you have DPS for a reason, so you want them to do most of the damage, so your priority is healing. Like, so if you are like, oh, I see an enemy behind my low teammate, you definitely want to take care of that low teammate before you try to go for that enemy. And Ana's biotic rifle will make sure you actually do that. So that's nice.
Enemy in my sights.
Do you think it's better to scope or not scope? Or does it depend?
I
on
think
the
it
situation?
depends on how close and how far you are. And we'll definitely get into the scoping too, because it's definitely a lot different actually for her.
For sure.
We could actually talk about that now, Rose.
Yeah, why don't you?
Yeah. So yeah, when you're scoped in, you actually fire a hit scan shot. So it will hit the target immediately when you press the button. However, you notice you see a big line comes out of your gun. So that means the enemies can see exactly where you are when you scope in. So sometimes it's better to, especially if you don't want to give away positions, to use the hip fire, so that way they can't see where you are to heal a teammate.
And also, Ed, you move much slower if you move around while in scoped form.
Yeah.
Oh, you can really notice that.
Yeah.
Your enemies are put to the test.
And
go for it. Go for it.
the difference between the two of them is it's definitely harder to hit your target when you're firing from the hip. I know that from playing just lower levels than it is with your hit scan shot, but it's usually better to use scope for allies and enemies that are farther away.
I think it was also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
To reach the target if you fire from the hip.
Enemy
Then
in my
scope.
sights.
I think quick firing or quick scoping was also mentioned as something that can be really good to.
Yeah. Quick scoping is something that is not the easiest thing to do, especially with Ana. Basically, you want to, as soon as you see the crosshair in your scope, is when you can fire. So you can quick scope, and you get the hit scan shot, but you still get your normal movement speed. So you don't have to worry about slowing down by staying scoped in.
Quickscope is one that takes a lot of practice to really get the hang of consistently.
Yeah.
Like when I haven't played for 3 days here, so I was playing on the training grounds trying to make sure I get my timing back.
And it's also, you can like do flick shots while you're scoped in and stuff. It does take a lot of practice though, so like any character, you can flick shot with them, but it's not something you can really teach. It's something you just have to keep practicing at.
A lot of Ana's kit is definitely something you just learn from experience.
Is that something where Ana paintball would help to practice?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
And Ana paintball is definitely good, especially with learning how to quick scope.
Yeah.
And
All right, we
it
can
just
probably-
helps with your aim in general, even if you're not playing Ana.
I do better at least at Ana than I do at Widow. So
So yeah, firing from the hip is a projectile, scoping in is the hit scan shot.
I think it's also important to note, once you're scoped in, if you guys all want to scope in real quick, you see that big triangle like right in the middle. If you have a teammate in that triangle, it's still pretty much going to hit them. But it will not hit an enemy in that, like, you have to be right on point with that enemy. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, basically
That's just a big part of Ana is like, yeah, put your friendly all up in that triangle, but you have to be really accurate
Yeah,
with
the hitbox for hitting friendlies is much more.
Yeah, why don't you, Rose, tell us about Sleep Dart?
Well, okay, so Sleep Dart, in this custom game it's instant, but normally it has a 12-second cooldown. So, and it's definitely one of the longer cooldowns. So you want to try and, you don't want to use it extremely liberally, because it does have a long cooldown. So you really want to save it for the best time to use it. It does have a slight delayed activation, so you notice when you hit the button it doesn't come out immediately. She takes time to actually put up the weapon and then it fires. So you can use that to help lead your shot.
I think the biggest thing with sleep darts is the communication with the sleep dart. So once someone has slept, I know sometimes it's really hard, especially like just to go on when you don't know the people on your voice chat, like, to go on voice chat and talk to people because they're usually really weird people sometimes. But Ana, you just have to be really communicative. So like when someone is asleep, you have to let your teammates know, like, hey, this person's asleep, do not touch them. Or if they're gonna touch them, they have to secure that kill. So they're gonna have to. You guys have to group up.
From being slapped, they wake up.
Yeah.
And
once someone is asleep, we can all gather over here, and I'll show you guys like a little trick. Once someone is asleep, there is a sound cue. Sound is very important for her. It's when they take that deep breath in. So it's going to be like the sound is going to be going down.
Yeah.
And they're taking that breath in. That's when they're about to get up. So in that animation to get up is going to take a second as well.
Save reality. How did you describe that?
Yeah,
sound
so
to me?
the noise is the the very last moment, because if you break their sleep before that moment, they actually instantly stand up. Whereas if you wait until the moment of the sleep dart, they actually have to go through the animation of standing up. So it buys you a little extra time if you want to try to take them out.
Oh, interesting.
We can actually demonstrate that here.
Yeah.
If one of you wants to
So
me.
if we had normal cooldown times, I could give you the exact second on your little clock to watch for.
Oh, this is
Listen.
horrifying. like then yeah, I have to like stand, but like shoot me and then break the damage, or shoot me and then wake me up.
Lights out.
Like I'm just like
And he's
instant.
coming in, and he's coming to kill you, so be careful. Another
Never
big
wake
thing about that sleep dart is you definitely want to use it defensively. So I know, like, when I first start a game, I use it pretty liberally because I know no one has really any ults to worry about, and it can help with like a push in. If you like sleep a diva in the back or sleep a Reinhardt, you guys can push in a little bit. But definitely start thinking about using it defensively. Once your team starts getting ults, you know that the enemy team definitely has their ults as well. So you're gonna, especially these little flankers like Tracer and Genji, they're gonna be coming for you first. So you definitely want to try to save it for when you're in some deep trouble with them flanking you, or they're using their ults and you want to just pop them right there.
I mentioned kind of communicating, like when you have someone sleeping back here, getting your teammates to help you is very important. One of my favorite things to do, I learned from a streamer. he was playing on another region where they couldn't understand his English very well, and he kept saying like sleep, 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 and no one was helping him. So he started going like bing bong, get your attention, and goes shoo. all his allies would come and help him. So he's like bing bong, sleep, sleep, sleep. And then you'd see this like horde of Korean players coming to surround this enemy.
Oh my god,
That's awesome.
So I've actually done this with my friends, just like come help, bing bong, and I will do that in my solo queue games too once in a while, usually to some laughs.
oh my god.
Should we practice some sleeping on some fast moving heroes?
Yeah, absolutely.
I also want to mention before we start, like the sleeping of our 200-point friend, that there is a combo, and we can teach that to you once we do like the biotic grenade later. But it is like a pretty fast combo, and it takes a while to get used to. But you do kill like Genji and Tracer with it with the right timing. They have a ton of health right now, so you definitely won't be able to kill them. But they're definitely just gonna dash around you a little bit, try to get at you, and you can try to sleep them now. So because they're the fastest moving characters you'll probably have to deal with, and the skinniest ones besides Widowmaker.
Oh, nice. And the thing is, like, you have to lead your shots a little bit too.
There is that small delay there. And the good thing about Genji is that he does, when he ults, he has a slight animation. Like if he's up in the air, he is locked into an animation where he's pulling out his blade and you see a dragon, so he's kind of like a little beacon. I definitely wait until I hear Genji start ulting, and then I watch him go into the air. And once he's in the air and starts doing that animation, he's stationary. So it's much easier to hit him instead of him dashing at your face.
It is so impressive that you guys are sleeping Tracer. I'm sorry. It is honestly awesome. Like with Blink turn, like no cooldown, it's just like holy.
Yeah, and so the most important thing is you definitely want to be sleeping people like in their ults. That's their most crucial time to be sleeping them, because then if no one wakes them up, that's all of their ult time is pretty much wasted. Nice. Yeah, so it's very important. A lot of the sleep will last through a bunch of ults. Just keep in mind that Genji, he will still be in his ult. Nice.
Yes, you guys did.
Actually, yeah.
Surprise, Mccree.
You start learning which heroes you can actually stop their ult, and which heroes you just delay the inevitable death.
Yeah, because like if you guys wake me up, then I just
so the thing with Mccree is once you sleep him, he cannot use his ult anymore. Like you have canceled his ult completely. With like Genji, he still has it. So if you wake him up early, he's still gonna dash at you and try to kill you. But Mccree, he's pretty much, that's it. Like he can't use that. He'll have to build it up again.
Roadhog is my favorite one.
Yeah.
Because you stop him entirely. And he's such a
you
large
stop
target.
Roadhog entirely. Yeah, and that's another thing about Genji is that it's really, you have to keep track of his deflects as well, because it kind of sucks to just take a nap yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're also ineffective.
Yeah, I'm gonna go switch to Genji real quick. I'm gonna show a trick I learned for this is, or we should save this to one-on-one combat later. Maybe I should say that.
Yeah, we could put it at the end. So yeah, we could probably move on to biotic grenade.
Yeah. So if you want to
Never stop fighting for what you
kill
believe
Mccree
in.
some more, the biotic grenade is part of that Ana combo as well. I don't know if Rose wants to talk about the damage and stuff that it does before.
Yeah.
But we-
So, Biotic Grenade to enemies deals 60 damage, right? But you can heal for 100 health to your teammate. It's the radius is about 4 meters, so it can deal. So it does splash. Also, if you notice, it puts a little purple box around their health bar. That means that they cannot be healed for the entire time that debuff is active. There are a couple abilities. Zarya's Bubbles, Mace Ice Block, Moira's Fade, and Reaper's Wraith are the only abilities currently that completely remove the debuff. Other than Recall, but Recall just, takes her back.
Is that the only thing that purple does? It just prevents them from being
It deals damage, and it also stops them from being. So they cannot be healed the entire time that they're purple.
Gotcha.
It's especially useful when you stay in enemies and Yara is using their ultimate in a big pile of people. You throw a big purple on them. And
Zen himself cannot be purpled, but everybody else can. He's in.
And then you just have Zen waiting by himself after everyone's dead. And that's very sad. So you definitely want to take away. That's like a huge counter for Zen. Is that purple grenade? You definitely want to save it when your team is talking about using all their ult. So like Zarya's like, I got my graviton ready. You definitely want to save that grenade to help her out. And like whoever the damage dealer is, to throw that grenade in there, it'll give them that extra like security that they're gonna kill those.
Yes.
Never.
I was going to
It's also a projectile, so it can be reflected by Genjis, and it can be eaten by divas. That's how sometimes you'll get a Genji that has bronze healing on your team. It's reflected in on a grenade at his feet.
I've never seen that. What?
Yeah. So yeah, let me. I'm gonna go up top.
It's also important to know, like, since it can be eaten by Diva's defense matrix and deflected by Genji, you definitely want to aim it more at walls beside them because it'll definitely go bypass that. It'll, like, so say under that archway all the way over on the other side, if your whole team is under that little archway and you throw that little grenade and it hits that wall, it's going to hit your teammate and not be eaten by, like, a Diva unless she's aiming her defense matrix right at that wall, which why would she do that? Or like Genji, it really will surprise Genji. I usually throw it at my feet if I have a Genji on me, because he's trying to deflect anything I'm going to try to throw at him. He's expecting me to sleep dart him so I can get away from him or just try to do more damage to him. So he's going to be trying to deflect as much as possible, but I throw it at my feet so it hits me and gives me health and also damages that Genji while he's,
I realized I switched too early. But do we want to showcase the splash damage?
Yeah, so Tripit's up here is Genji on this little balcony. You can actually try to throw it at the wall or at Tripit directly, and you can see that splash damage. And you guys will start right here where you guys are at, and then we'll move back a little farther to show that arch.
Oh god, where are the healers?
You're purple! You're purple!
Cold! Tripit needs healing!
Oh god! This is horrifying!
Like every Genji's worst nightmare right here. All revenge.
There we go. The scariest thing in the world.
Can I see that thing with the wall? I want to see how this works with Diva.
Come on over. I'll go to this archway over here. Alright, if you want to stand, like, right here on this little sewer cap right there, and put your defense matrix out.
Oh, sorry.
I kind of threw it too high. Go ahead and put your defense matrix back out once that wears off, and I'll try to hit the wall, like, right beside you.
Wait a minute. Does this not recharge in this game mode?
It should. It should be. Oh, did I actually like screw that up?
Oh no!
I can't actually use it anymore. Oh,
that's familiar. Oh, recharge rate 0%. I meant to be 500.
Oh no!
My bad.
My worst nightmare.
That's hilarious. Well, we'll just restart it real quick anyway, just because we're almost at 30 minutes.
Now entering.
But it should be good now. You get one defense matrix. That's it.
Just one chance.
One.
Don't waste it.
Justice ain't gonna dispense itself.
I also like using it like with Reinhardt's shield as well. If you hit the wall beside him. All right. Let me go on this side. All right, I'm ready for your eating.
Defense matrix activated.
Oh, dang it. So it is like a very small window, especially because it goes like it arches like outward.
Get through this. Routing power to forward barrier. Defense matrix activated. This will
And it's very hard to. So I think like the archway is pretty big, and also like very good. I know like I'm in like high plat, low gold, low diamond. There's really active diva players that are waiting for like those Moira orbs and those Ana grenades to come out. So it's very you gotta time it like pretty right, like because they're gonna be waiting for it. And also my cooldown is like crazy, so I wouldn't have this many chances. But the splash damage of it, like if I even hit up there in that corner, it's still hitting you. So it's very nice. It'll go over that little defense matrix that you have.
So you're aiming like here?
Yeah. So I'm aiming like right here. Oh, so sorry. Yeah, so I'm aiming up here at this little spot, and it's still like hitting your mech since you're so big. It won't hit you as a baby diva just because you're so tiny. But I did aim just a little bit lower, and it did hit you. And your hitbox is pretty like with all like 200 level characters, it's still gonna hit them. And it especially helps if there's a shield in the way. Orisa's kind of hard because it's kind of curved, so it can't really hit around it, but Reinhardt's is really nice to hit that same spot up there, and it's going to hit everyone behind it too. It kind of works if you've done that Mccree trick with a Reinhardt shield where you are aiming up and he aims up kind of thing, like you can aim down again and hit it at the floor and stuff like that. Yeah, so I try to hit it at especially Genji's too, like his little deflect range, I throw it right at my feet and it's still gonna hit him. Because he's in my face and I don't like him there, so I want to hurt him as much as possible while he's there, and let my teammates know like, hey, that Genji's like right on my face, and I'm gonna keep like just throwing it down, trying to sleep him. But yeah, and it'll take a lot of practice to know which walls will help you the most. It's really hard. I've found a lot of places on maps have little concaves on like the floors and stuff that'll make it do what you don't want it to do. It's very like every map has a special place that's like no. I found it with like Mccree's flashbang as well. There's certain parts of the map where like if I were to hit this grenade right here in this doorway, the effects probably wouldn't come past this corner, like because it's such a small little corner. But yeah.
Just what the doctor ordered.
And another thing with Biotic Grenade, again, as experience with her is learning that arc, a lot of Ana players will tend, once they learn it, especially if you're on defense, you can basically get that perfect arc to immediately hit the enemy as they come out of spawn.
And that just takes a lot of like practice, and like it's different for every map.
Where to aim, knowing exactly what to hit.
So then it comes down to when to use your grenade. That is the question for the ages, and it'll always be different depending on who you ask. However, there are many great moments. Let's see here. Let's actually show some of my favorite moments here. So when I'm on defense with Ana, this is Miko talking here. I have a few favorite places I like to hide off it. It's up here where I'm throwing the grenade right now, or by this telephone pole, because we'll get into positioning in a bit, but because for various reasons. And I can see my allies are usually defending the choke between the two gates up there. And well, one of my favorite things to do is get called a huge purple. Is the enemy team is pushing through. You two Annas are going to get hit probably, but throw a purple as they're pushed through. You learn the spacing as with time, but yeah. So then all of a sudden the enemy team is really, they can't get healed as they push, and my team likely has a boost to their healing, so I can. It basically hurts the enemy team and helps my team at the same time, shooting this archway as the enemies are pushing through here, the choke. The same as vice versa when I'm attacking. If our team is attacking, oh no! I will once my team is pushing through.
Rude.
You know, I just kind of give them a little boost to help them if I think they need it. I mean, it's all very situational. All these moments are. You kind of get to assess the situation as kind of things you just learn. But
Oops.
yeah. So like, basically, when the enemy team is pushing, is the time I like to use my bionic heal because I can heal my allies more and hurt the enemy team.
And another big question is it worthwhile to use on a single target?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
You know, again, it's all situational. If I'm in a 1v1, I'm like, yep, I'm taking you down as best I can. If I see like if I see a flanker who scare them off, sometimes I will do it. But it's also if my allies are not being pressured, then it's safe to do so. If my allies are being pressured, then maybe not. Or if you see an enemy low and you just know like I cannot hit this person worth a darn, I'm just gonna throw a grenade to finish him off.
Yeah, especially like, you know, if you're in one of those situations, you know, you're kind of panicking a little bit, you don't trust your aim, just throw your nade, you can guarantee at least the damage of the heal, you know.
I think the most satisfying grenade to ever like watch is if you're behind a Reinhardt and a Reinhardt comes at your Reinhardt and you throw a grenade in there, their Reinhardt's purple and yours just got a heal, so he definitely has an advantage. It's almost like if you play Zenyatta and you give like the enemy a Discord orb and you give your ally like the healing orb, there's definitely already going to be an advantage going into that 1v1 fight. And you definitely just want to give your teammates, you're supporting your teammates, and so you just definitely want to give them the most advantage that you can. And it's gonna, if they have an Ana on their team and you get your little grenade off first, she can't do anything about it. Like, it's whoever gets that little grenade off first. She can't like undo your purple and you can't undo hers. So it's very, you have to think quick about like if you're going into that team fight, you definitely want to just throw it. You have to make that decision if you want to give your teammates the heal or if you want to give your teammates the advantage going into the fight like that.
Enemy in my sight.
Tabby, I just tried to heal you by I panicked and just saw like, oh no. But yeah, absolutely. Should we jump into the damage combo?
Yeah.
We have actually all of these heroes are perfect for this right now since our tracer is a little high. Ash, take it away.
Wait, what?
Go ahead, take it away. Take it away.
Oh yeah, so it's for 200 health heroes and obviously like Baby Diva and Tracer as well at 150. You have to be careful with Tracer because if you do this combo, it's going to she's gonna try to recall as soon as possible. So you have to do it as fast as possible. I'm going to kill one of you.
Is definitely
So
a
sorry.
little bit another 200 health targets because she only.
Yeah, so what you want to do first is you have to do it pretty fast. I'm going to actually tell you guys before I start doing it just because it happens pretty fast. You sleep them, and then you fire once, use your grenade, and then hit fire, and then hit them with your fist, your big old granny fist. So you gotta, and it'll do that whole combo, and it'll kill a 200 HP character if they're not being healed, which they shouldn't be if you throw that grenade down. So I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try to kill you right now. And it happens so fast. Sometimes it just all happens in the moment that I'm able to kill someone. So, performance-wise, I may mess up, but let's see if we can get it. So you sleep them, and then I usually wait a little bit to make them feel secure, and they're not. Oh dang! I missed that second shot. But and like that last shot usually like takes them down. I'm gonna try to kill another person. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna sleep you. And then if you don't have anyone helping you, this is really fine to just. Damn it! I keep missing. know I keep missing that second shot, but and if you guys want to try it out on like our tiny bodies, it will not work with a tank. Do not try it with a tank. It's only 200 and below people. So, and like you saw, like if you miss that second shot, they're just gonna be down to like 70, and they can usually kill you with just 70 health.
So you want to practice before you shoot someone. The actual move, like shoot, grenade, shoot, punch before you actually put anyone to sleep.
And there's you need the sleep, right? Or
Yeah.
In order
I mean, the sleep is normal,
Yeah.
but before you dive into killing one of us, get used to the motions.
So wait, it's shoot, grenade, shoot, punch, right? After sleep?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a long
You
combo.
need to do the punch.
Yeah, and I mean, you can pretty much do it. Just know that if that person is asleep, they're going to wake up as soon as you do any damage to them. So it has to be a very quick, like, so you can, like, technically, like, hit them twice, you know, like, shoot them twice, punch them, and grenade them. And it just, yeah, it can happen in any order, but just know it's the first thing that you do is going to make them move. So I try to do the shooting first. I try to do the shooting first since they're the most stationary, because if I grenade them first, they, like Genji and Tracer, usually have a chance to just get up and start running around. So I try to shoot them while they're stationary. I do like the 2-shot, grenade, and then punch. And
Is
then
the punch necessary though?
It's not necessary, but it will kill them faster. Because the damage from Ana's shots does over time. It doesn't happen instantly like most other abilities in the game. It happens over time. So you can use the punch to make them die that much faster.
I personally, I don't do the punch just because like unless they're getting healed, I try to do punch them. But like if it's just like a 1v1 with like a 200 HP character like Mccree or someone, I'm just gonna start, you know, doing the shoots, the combo, like the 2 shoots and the grenade. And any 200 HP character will die with 3 shots. So if they're not like getting up and killing you super fast, you can actually, like, if you don't have that grenade, that's just a backup plan, is to shoot them 3 times. But it's very hard with like very fast characters because they're just gonna get up and try running everywhere.
Some more tips. This is actually where I think I mentioned where if you wake someone up early versus letting them wake up on their own, matters. You give yourself a hair more time if you wait until the sleep dart the enemy is waking up with the noise. You give yourself a moment if you wait until you're doing that. Someone come here and take care of Mccree here. I want you to do the combo on Mccree. One person. Akra, you're here. You're looking at me.
No, back up.
Just Akra. Ha! See? Alright. There's the tricky part. The other lesson is to go behind your enemy when you do this combo. Because then you don't get the problem of Mccree or someone trying to use their abilities on you. See?
Got him.
Now make sure you do your combo correctly too. Shoot, nade, shoot.
Yes, sleep first. Then
Yes, once they're asleep. Sorry, I just keeps assuming that's the known.
Yeah. It took me so long to get that Ana combo, and like it's still like I still mess it up to this day. So it's not like a perfect thing. Like it's just something you will learn, and it's very fast paced. So like while you're doing all the fighting too, like it just kind of comes naturally that you're like, kill this Genji before he kills me, and then you just kind of, you know, pull out all your stuff and just kill him. But it took me so long to get that Ana combo, and it just takes a lot of practice. I thought that was an enemy one. That was
so
like,
I panic here.
See, and Diva has the 100, so you don't have to do the second shot on a Tracer. You can just do the sleep, fire, nade, and punch. So.
Someone want to practice on Rebel? Tabby, go for it.
Oh, sorry, I did it the wrong way.
yeah, you're good. You're good.
Wait, what you mean with the sleep in
Look at
oh,
the
I
combo.
see.
Yeah.
Oh.
Zafira, here, go ahead and try McCree.
Sure, I'll take it because I do actually have to leave and right now. So
Okay.
I'll do it. We'll see what happens.
Oh no!
Get close.
Let's start.
Nice. Yeah, you didn't even need the punch there, just because you hit everything, and he didn't have time to like react and turn to you. That was awesome.
Cool. I do actually have to go though. I have to meet my family for dinner. So
No problem.
Dinner.
So yeah, they picked a place that's 45 minutes from here
Okay.
at 5:30.
Ooh,
So
ouch.
I should probably get going. Right? How dare they? But no, this was super helpful and I really appreciated it. And I like never pick Anna. Now I kind of want to at least go quick play some Anna. So.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank
So
you for joining
guys-
us.
Yeah, thank you guys so
you.
much for teaching. It was super fun.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right, I guess we should move on to Nano then.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, Nano's one of my favorite things. So Nano Boost, what it does, I'm switching to Ana here while I'm talking. It instantly restores 300 hit points on your target. Their damage taken is reduced in half, and the damage they do is increased, is doubled. Basically 50% both ways. And gosh, it also stacks with Supercharger from Orisa and Mercy's
And
damage
Mercy, right.
boost. So you can really, really boost up someone in a hurry with this ability. Let's see. Let's see.
There are a couple of abilities that it does not boost, though, however. There are anything that's deployable, so any turrets, traps.
Actually, Bob is nano boostable.
Yeah.
He is a deployable technically, but like he's the only.
Well, he's a character. He's not a deployable. He's a character.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
So you can boost Bob, but Ash doesn't give it to him.
Yeah, if you boost the Ash, Bob does not get the boost. You have to actually boost Bob.
It's kind of like if you boost Diva and she throws her mech away, like it's still not working. Like it's not going to the baby
I
Diva.
maybe
so, like,
have
that's
done that
still-
to a lot of Annas in my life. I'm sorry, Grandma.
It's okay. And it's so funny to watch because you're like, oh, I built this for you, and then they throw it away, and you're like, okay.
I used my bomb.
And I think it's just like in their brain, they're like, oh, I gotta go do something with it, and they just, like that's their first instinct, which is fine. Like it's really funny. I think those are my favorite moments. But
I used to damage boost the bomb if you would nano the baby Diva, but they changed that
Makes sense.
months ago.
I usually use that nano boost to get people to do something. If I've had a soldier on my
Yes.
team that's been holding onto his tactical visor for years, I will nano boost him to force him to use that because that's not helping anyone for him to hold it, and he can build it, more like with it. I usually use the nano boost to save like teammates. So like if Genji's really, really low behind enemy lines, I'll boost him so he can at least come back or like do a little bit more damage because the team turns on him and they're like, we got him, boys, we got him, like finish him off. And then you're like, no, just kidding, that's my boy. And you like heal him up with your nano boost. That's a big surprise in the enemy lines that they're like, oh crap, we gotta deal with him again, like round 2. But that's only with like really good flankers and teammates back there.
I guess we should show the difference between nano damage and non-nano. So I'm gonna swap.
I have a question. So one time, something happens to me a lot as Diva is someone will give me the Ana ult, and then I lose my mech, but it doesn't save me. Is there a way as Ana to predict that, oh, it's too late to use it on the Diva, or is it just kind of luck at that point?
Usually, like, it's up to the Ana giving. Like, I usually only give Diva a boost if I'm trying to get her to build her ult, or I usually don't give it to her when she has it, just because, like, it's very hard to explain. Like, there's definitely targets you want to give it to, and if Diva is the only one doing damage on your team, I definitely give it to her. And if she's running low on health, but she's the focus of all the fire, I don't give it to her, because she has a second chance on life getting out of her mech. And if like my 300 health boost, it won't heal her mech like all of the way, and they're still like hitting at her. Like I definitely just don't give it to her because I'm like, oh, she's out of that. Like she's
I
not
get a lot
coming
of
back from that.
I got a lot of Anos who will try to boost my mech, and then I just lose my mech, and like it's just sitting there off, and it fades away, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't use this time because it wasn't quick enough, and so I feel like it's almost seems like it's not worth doing that for the Diva, but I get it a lot.
What did you go into? You grenaded and then ulted?
People who try to save me with the Ana ult, but my bomb, like my mech's already gone, and I didn't
Enemy
eat it.
in my
I didn't, pop my ult. It's just it was too late. But then
Yeah.
it's a waste of the Ana ult. So I find that a lot. That happens to me more than. It makes me sad for.
Yeah, and I don't want like divas, like if their first instinct is to use their ult, like when they get nano boosted, and it's like I don't want to encourage divas to, like go in there.
Oh no,
like,
I usually don't.
Yeah, and it's just it's up to your Ana. Like a good Ana will not nano boost like certain targets. Like I don't nano boost Hanzo or Widowmaker. Like I don't usually boost Diva. And so if Roadhog's doing his ult and he gets low on health, like everyone's turned and focused him, and he gets low on health, I'll boost him up. So it's like a second round of his terrible ult. Hurting people. And it's up to your Ana. Like usually good Anas won't they'll see you really low and they're gonna try to heal your mech before they tell you to get back in there with their nano boost. Because that's like the main thing that the nano boost is used for, is to get in there and do damage. But yeah, it's usually if an Ana accidentally boosts it. I know a diva has flown in front of me and I've nano boosted her and she jumps out of her mech and I'm like, well, sorry, go ham, go shoot someone. But people are losing health left and right. It's so easy for Ana to build her nano boost back. So I wouldn't worry about it too much if you're like, oh no, I nano boosted the wrong person, and they're still getting a little value by hurting people with it, or doing whatever they do with it. You build it back so fast. There's so many, you can get so many nano boosts in a game that I would just focus. I wouldn't cry about the diva getting out of her nano boosted mech, and just I'd be like, all right, building it again. Let's go, someone get in there.
I tell my friends it's basically nano boost is like candy for me, so don't worry if I miss it. You're good. Enjoy it while you have it, Mercy. You're good.
Or the boost deal.
Yes.
Right.
Good characters to nano. Anybody who can do a massive amount of damage instantly with nano are great characters to nano. So especially if you're in lower levels, Junkrat is actually a pretty good nano target with just his base damage, because he does because he's got explosive damage, right? So if you nano boost that, he'll pretty much get an instant kill on any 200 HP target. And then Winston, when he's not ulting, is a great nano target because his gun does cleave, so he can hit multiple targets at once, and it'll do more damage per second than it normally does with nano. As well as Reinhardt's, because just why would you not nano a Reinhardt?
Yeah. I think it's important to say that I wouldn't nano boost Winston while he goes into ult. I think if he's running low on health and he needs to get back to your team, give him that extra boost to come back. But while he's in his ult, or that he's losing health, a lot of Winstons will jump into the fight, and when they're low on health, that's when they'll pop their ult. And the ult, he's more effective with the nano boost if he's shocking someone with his Tesla cannon than he is just pushing him around with his little meaty fist. So I usually try to there's certain scenarios that you're if you really want to save that teammate that's in there and using their ult, definitely 100%. But usually save it for the ults tactical visor and a barrage that are gonna do the most damage, because you get that big meaty push with it.
One quick thing before we move on. Purple, Ana's anti-heal is affects the healing you get from the nano boost. So if your Rhine is purple, when you push Q on him, he will not get that healing boost. Keep that in mind.
He'll still get the nano, but he won't get it.
Right.
Do you want to showcase it? I don't know how easy it's going to be.
If someone wants to purple trip.
It's probably that.
There's probably damage trip first. Until about halfway point.
Well, I made the mistake of giving this character 1,000,000 health, so I apologize.
Yeah. So.
Alright, that's good. Alright, someone purple her. And then I hit Q. Health does not go up. There we go.
Okay, hold on a second.
There we go.
I just want to show them the difference between a normal shot and then when they're ammo.
Yeah. That's why I asked to come over to the other team.
Did you want to go Roadhog so you don't die?
Who?
Rose?
What?
Oh
no, I'm the one shooting.
Oh, you're being nano boosted? Oh, okay.
So like, if I shoot Trip in with a body shot, how much damage did that do?
70.
All right, and then heal back up, and then nano me, and I hit.
Oh wow, yeah, that was like 115.
Yeah. So that's a good way to show. It literally is double the damage. So a McCree landing a headshot will instant kill anybody with one shot when he's. So. Also, everyone's favorite combo is the light. So when he's nanoed, he locks onto targets faster with Deadeye.
Oh no!
You jumped ahead in lessons.
Sorry. It's an instinct.
Well, here's a great shoot the Roadhog, I guess. Here's a good one.
Yeah. You're big. I love shooting Roadhog. He's like
It's
the
my
biggest
favorite.
target. Like, take a nap, but.
All right, we should move to counters. We're running low on time here.
Like we said before, it's great against like other healers because you can take away that like healing aspect, and like Roadhog who can self heal and like Soldier who can self heal. It's gonna cancel those things, and you can also like cancel out Roadhog, healing by sleeping him, and you can't really cancel Soldier by sleeping him. He's still gonna just land in his little circle of health. So I would rather like grenade him to counter him, and you can also, yeah, I think just all the healers is like the most important counter, is because you're going to be like making them non-effective during those team fights.
Ana is also sadly often countered by flankers and dive comps. You get one shot to shoot some of them, otherwise it's Panic City. We have a Winston here. Yeah, Winston's one of my least favorite because of his bubble. The timing you have to do, because of Winston will, once he lands on you, Winston will put the shield down. And then it's you hoping that you don't throw your grenade into the shield, or you're dead from his tickle cannon. Like that, you can... flankers are just really good at picking on Ana. She has one chance to escape, and if she fails, she's dead.
Enemies detected.
Yeah. So like, you'll oftentimes get a tracer kind of sneak up on your Ana. She can easily one click on Ana. Right?
Get in there.
She can just.
Unstoppable.
Get back in the fight.
Assuming she's good, I'm not actually good.
Doomfist ult is also very difficult to get away with Ana in its current form. Changing slightly. One of my favorite tricks, is basically any hero, but more on Ana that seems to happen, is if you hear the Doomfist ult coming for you, because it gets louder when it's on you. I like to play around corners and try to bait him, and so I can go around the corner and hopefully either reduce the damage or negate the damage entirely if he misses me. So I like to play corners with Doomfist.
Yeah.
But again, Ana is just not, it's just very difficult. However, he is an easy target once he lands, and if he misses you for a sleep dart. But that one takes practice as well. It's important to know, I can't remember if we mentioned this or not, but assuming you're not the solo healer, it's important for your other healer to be keeping you topped off, because you don't have any self-heal except for throwing a grenade at your feet. Well, using that long cooldown on yourself, it's usually a waste unless it's a panic situation. And so if you're...
I think lately in quick play, I've been Ana as the only healer, so the whole team suffers, really. So you definitely want to... Ana works best with like a secondary healer at least, so he can top off, like they can top off her, or like another main healer can keep bigger tanks alive, kind of thing. Like she can solo heal, like it is possible, but it's so much harder and you're doing so much more work, so she really shines when you have another healer on the team.
Yeah, she's great, especially if you have like a Lucio on your team or a Zen, because Lucio has the AoE healing, that plus the buff from your grenade just basically gives Lucio a crap ton more healing potential. Same with Zen.
I found the enemy.
So can you actually avoid being killed by Doomfist as Ana if you're like around a...
Yeah. Here, do you have ult?
You can break line of sight, or if you can get out of the immediate center of the ult, you usually not die from it.
Rose, do you have ult by chance?
For some reason I forgot to give... I give him like ton of health a ton of health, but no no ult charge.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, I think like I don't know how much he's changing on the PTR right now, but
I think they're just changing Rising Uppercut.
yeah.
No, they're increasing how much damage he does. If he gets a direct hit, it hurts more, but if you can get away, it hurts less. But the radius is larger as well, the direct hit radius.
Yeah. So it kind of sucks. Like Doomfist is a hard like just a pain in the neck, especially with his ult, because you know he's coming for a healer. Like you just know he is. And
Doomfist is also really annoying with the fact that he can he gains shield as he does damage. So he's harder to kill for anyone. And even his ult will give him shield. So if he does damage with his ult, you probably will not survive if you survive yourself. I can get the ult.
I'm like wondering if I screwed up the settings because it's taking forever. Yeah. I haven't tweaked the ultimate. Maybe it's just because like I'm not dying. If you killed me, what are you at now?
That took forever.
Sorry.
So we'll do slow motion version. Like, easily let me get away, but so if Doom is going after Miko here, and I hear that, I go quickly around the corner, and boom, no damage at all.
Hello.
You have to time it better than when we just did easy mode because we knew we were practicing it. But you can hear the ult getting louder and louder as he's focusing on you, and when it's about to land.
Is it kind of like Mail then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it's about to land, you can see exactly where it's gonna hit. So you see two circles. The immediate circle, which will kill any 200 HP target immediately in the immediate circle, and then the outer circle, which will do a lot. I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but the farther away you are from the center of the circle, the less damage you take.
It is very difficult to avoid. It's possible, but so don't get mad if you don't, because it's still hard even when you know the tricks.
I have your back.
Right, we probably move on to position.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So earlier, Bree was down in this corner saying like, "Hey, this is my favorite Ana spot to be, especially when they're here at the choke." I want to let you guys know I am a Hanzo main, and I'm that Hanzo main who will just keep firing down the choke. And Ana is in the perfect area right here to get headshot. And I do it all the time. I get chats like, you know, being like, "Come on, really?" And I'm like, "Yep, you were standing right there." So you definitely want to try to get into high ground as much as possible. So where you guys were down there by that telephone pole is great, but also it's even better up here because they have to aim up, and you also have more mobility here, so you can go up to this window where Rose
this window
is.
here is
up
also
here.
really good if they're coming through choke, but they haven't gotten to point yet because they can't see you.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, it also depends on their team comp and where your team is.
You definitely just want to take that high ground. It is harder for people to get to you. I mean, besides Doomfist flying across the map like that, which is scary for anyone. It is harder for like characters to just aim upward, and also you have the cover of the ground for yourself. So if someone is getting some shots on you, you can just move backward, get to a better position. And also, Ana is still considered like a sniper-ish character. So once someone knows your position, you kind of want to move it every once in a while, just so you don't. So like Widowmaker doesn't stay in the same place the entire game. And you definitely don't want to be that sniper that does either, because then they'll just know directly where to come for you at. I like to alternate like on maps. Like this one, I like staying far from my team. But like once we get to the roads, like the little back roads back here, it's very hard to like stay farther from my team and still get a good like angle on them. So I usually stick with my tank, just so I'm healing them and we're all together that way.
Your goal ultimately trying to avoid sight lines from snipers, or people right in front. So like here, anybody sniping up top has an easy point to Miko here, because of that they like to hide on top.
Widows tend to stand up here. That's like
We're doing for that, yeah.
We hate that.
The goal trying to avoid sight lines while still healing your enemy is biggest, or ally, excuse me, is a key factor, and usually that means hugging walls. Or hugging corners.
while staying near your main tank. And the payload is a great source of cover. Payload is your friend. Payload is your friend. No matter which character you're playing, the payload is your friend. Because not only does it heal you on you pushing it, but it also provides cover.
I'm gonna head off, but thank you for the class.
Take
Bye.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tabby. Yeah, we have hit the hour mark, so like if anybody has to, we've covered pretty much everything. It would just be, I think, 1v1s at this point. If anybody
And
wants to know how to.
good on.
Oh yes, yeah.
She's good on pretty much every map in the game. Any map that has long sight lines and sufficient high ground will be great for Ana. So like this map here, King's Row, there's plenty of places for Anas to stand, get lots of sight lines, especially like you notice if you look down here, I'm standing like right about here, you can see most of this point just from here. You can see the entirety of the point, as well as have cover from this arch here, if you're on defense. And then there are, like, any payload map is also... So, Gibraltar... Rialto, I can't even think of names right now. But any payload or hybrid map is just on a playground.
How do you feel about her in, like, King of the Hill?
Ana is okay. On King of the Hill,
Oh, go ahead.
she's not ideal because you really want to have healers that'll stay on, that are best staying on the point. So I personally would go for Moira on a King of the Hill map.
My personal preference is I love Ana on King of the Hill because everyone's on that little point usually, and your grenade is so effective because everyone's like usually in the same place. I think it's just one of those things. Like I know.
It really depends on your rank, I guess.
I think because a lot of in my rank, a lot of people it's very hard to explain. I love Ana on like any map, but like I think King of the Hill is just my favorite because everyone's sticking together, and that's the easiest to help your team with and to hurt the enemy team is when they're all together. All your stuff is usually most effective.
What is it? Oasis University is a really good map for her.
Mm-hmm.
You have side rooms where you can hide from the enemy and you can see your entire team.
Enemy contact.
But just in general, I personally prefer to not go on it just because I'm bad. So
It's very hard to play Ana without the right tanks. I think it's very hard to play Ana with like a Roadhog and Zarya. It's really easier to play with like a shield in front of you or a tank that's going to be sticking with you.
You definitely want to, you know, it's like, you know, Ana with Arisa or Reinhardt is best. If your team is running with a Winston, you can run Ana, but it's usually not gonna be fun for you.
Just mobility wise, like they can move so much and you can't. So I usually go like Moira or Mercy to give that special attention and special healing and be able to move with everybody.
Yeah.
So
And
Brie, I think
Ana Hart is Bay, so like Ana and Reinhardt is just gonna be always a great combo.
You were saying?
Brie, you had that tip about the melee, like the Genjis.
Oh my god, one of my favorite things here is I like doing 1v1s versus like Diva and Genji because there's a little trick you can do. If we don't really need to show it, is if you so the Genji's waiting for you to do your sleep dart animation, and so they can put you to sleep with it, or at least deflect it away. However, I find that at least depending on the rank, if you punch, they will instantly see your arm movement, think it's a sleep dart, and then make them waste their reflect. And so yeah, and then all of a sudden, no, there I go, haha. The same goes with Diva and her defense matrix. You punch, most Diva's instant reaction is to, oh, I'm gonna hit the DM, and then and you can, haha, no, I still have it, and then shoot.
Take your medicine.
That's one of my favorite 1v1 tricks. Oh. But If you really want, we can practice some 1v1s if you have time. Otherwise, it's more or less what I wanted to cover, is positioning, combos and whatnot.
Yeah, that was definitely like the meat of the class. So if you guys want more information on like individual fights, we're more than happy to give it. But otherwise, that is.
That's really helpful. Anna's not one I normally pick. I'm more of a Mercy and Moira person, but I think now that I know a little bit more about her, like versus just jumping into a game with her in Mystery Heroes, where I'm like, oh, I got Anna. I feel more inclined. Like, oh, I got Anna. Okay, now I can practice what I learned.
Yeah, I don't like Mystery Heroes because people are like, oh, Mystery Heroes is great for learning heroes to play. But like, that's why I'm just like, they need to add a mode or just a thing to put regular quick play where you can click a random hero and use that hero for the rest of the game. So you can actually learn how that hero works instead of having to constantly swap. But that's just me.
I find like one of the difficult things about like a class like this is it's hard because you're not actually in the combat environment. So much of Ana is just practice. I mean, any hero, but you start learning the tricks of the trade when you're actually put into combat. Or like I think it was a Trip actually mentioned the other day when we were talking. So much of Ana is staying calm and collected, especially when you are being like hit by a doom fist or being countered. Like you have anybody on your butt. You have to stay focused and be very careful with your timing and not panic and start pushing buttons. Otherwise, you are instantly going to die.
Yeah, because, you know, just like with anything, as soon as you start panicking, just go bad. So, you know, your aim will be messed up. And just everything will just be harder the more you... So, you definitely want to try and...
And that's like with the sneaky Mccree that we had before. I'm so proud of you guys for just like quickly flicking around and sleep. That's exactly what you need to get into the mindset of, right?
One of my favorite things to do when I'm Ana is sleeping a Ryan who's charging at me or has a friend. So I'm gonna come around the corner here, see if you can get the timing while I'm actually moving. If I stop, then it's too late. Ana's here. I'm gonna come around the corner, see if you can get the timing right here. Or if you see a Ryan coming at you here, I'll give you a moment to let's see my cooldown. Usually coming around the corner, Reinhardt comes around here, he's like, oh, there's an Ana! Rah! There you go.
Yeah.
It feels
and
so
that's usually
good.
like
any Reinhardt that tries to charge an Ana is not a good Reinhardt, but no.
It's like Reinhardt and like Genji as he's dashing, like any like character that has like locked into one like streamlined position like that is the funnest and easiest to sleep, just because they can't do anything about it, and you're like, well, thank you for that easy target. I think I used to play Mercy so much way before I did Ana. I was scared to actually like this is like my first person shooter game, and so I played Mercy because I didn't really have to aim that much. It was really fun, and then she got really nerfed, and I was like, you know, maybe I should try Ana, you know, like get a little better, and and it has helped me first-person shooter-wise, like to start shooting, you know, like, and I'm more confident playing other like even DPS heroes to like shoot with, because now Ana has helped me like with my aim and like my reaction time as well. So she really does pay off after a while of playing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Can you sleep? Like, have you ever slept a Reinhardt while he's like trying to use hammer, like as he's casting it, like canceled?
Oh my gosh, it feels so good. I've also slept my ally, my friendly Reinhardt. I've while he's in the middle of charging someone like an Orisa, I put the Orisa to sleep, which was
Nice.
cool. So they're both sleeping and charged. Yeah, the number of when you cancel an ult with your sleep dart, it feels amazing.
And that's why you want to use it defensively. Yeah, like if you were like, oh, that Reaper's coming in, like definitely just hold on to that sleep.
Oh yeah, when you see a Reaper just standing up there, like you know, like okay, here it comes. They telegraph it so easy. Sleeping Pharah while she's ulting is also a fun, easy thing to do. As long as she's not pointing at you.
She's in one spot.
Justice reigns from
Justice can use a nap is like my favorite line. So
yeah, and mom gets a little cocky towards her kids.
And you learn how sassy Ana is when you're playing her. You're like, ooh, Ana. Like if she kills someone with like a punch, I think she's like.
when she kills Widowmaker, she goes, one shot,
Oh, yeah.
one kill.
And
Alright, well,
when she kills someone, she's like, who taught you how to fight like that? And you're like, oh, Hana. Ooh.
I don't care.
She's the sassy grandma, and we all love her.
Well, any final questions or thoughts? All right, then I think that should wrap up our class. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you so much,
That was super helpful.
Thank you.
Ash and Bree, for hosting that. You guys were fantastic. That was so good.
Yeah, appreciate all the knowledge.
Yeah. If anyone has any like questions like outside of class or anything, let me know. Or if you guys want to group up for any games, let me know.